So we ain't really never had no old money. We got a whole lot of new money though. Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot pot, fucking on your bitch, yeah, cooking up dope in the pot. We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't trust nobody, with the trick, nobody. All of the gang and they coming to gang. Call me a river to do with this. Bad and boozy, bad. Cooking up dope with a boozy. My niggas are sad, roof. We got thudders and 100 round too. My bitch is bad and boozy, bad. Cooking up dope with a boozy. My niggas are sad, roof. We got thudders and 100 round too.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Excited to have you guys with us right here on the Betting News Network. Thanks so much for stopping by right here, hanging out for your afternoon BETSPRESSO. That is Shaggy Bets. That is V-Sauce. My name's Sweatpants. Stoked to have you guys with us to kick off your week. We got the dogs featuring in as well. A little Shaggy and Scooby, or Scooby and Freddy appearance with Mr.
Always.
Bets. Love to see it. Boys, how we living?
It's a great day. Great day. Start off the week hot. Another week to get after it. Let's do it.
Postseason's rolling, NHL, NBA, man. Big vibes all around.
Absolutely. We got the Yoffs. We're going to talk all about the NHL and the NBA playoffs that are rip-roaring. We've got some big matchups tonight. 2 games on the ice, 2 games in the basketball. So we're going to get you guys in just a few minutes and give you the plays. We're going to kind of talk with each individual game. We'll kind of go game by game with you guys for all 4 games, give our thoughts on the ice and on the hardwood. And we'll also talk about what happened this weekend, a little weekend review, some smashing and some passing, vibing out with you guys. But thanks for stopping by right here on the channel, brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. You guys know the deal. Get involved with BetOnline with that QR code right above Mr. V-Sauce's head. $250 dropped into your account with that QR code. Fun stuff rolling through, chat. We got some cool new stuff happening over the next week to 10 days. We got a couple new affiliate sponsors that we're going to be repping on the shows, getting you guys some stuff that's not bet worthy, but that you can maybe nibble on. We're gonna have some stuff that we're gonna roll forward very soon. We're gonna have a new show coming at you guys really soon too. We got some fun vibes. Get after it. Hang out with us right here on the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by. What up, Padge? What up, Rusty?
Mr. Padge, Mr. Old Man.
Mr. Old Man. Free Olds is kicking it.
Little ARB spot for Vasilevsky. I'm checking that out right now, Mr. Rusty.
He's been sniping those ARB spots. He keeps texting me them. Rusty keeps sending me the other stuff you send me in the DMs too. We want to talk about that on the show.
Well, I'm all about free moolah.
I know free moolah is always fun.
Ooh, the problem is you're getting the 60-minute line on one of them books, Rusty.
That's why.
That's a little caveat there. So rooting for no overtime for him to get it done. But yeah, there's the opportunities out there.
That is definitely why for those spots. I've also noticed the very difference in price due to the shots on goal because of that specific thing too, with the 60-minute line versus regular. So pay attention to that, chat, when you're locking these in.
Yeah, Rusty, I'm seeing that. That minus 102. That's 60 minutes though. So
what's up, John?
And that's your over too. So you're gonna have to have him get there. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? No overtime.
It's still a spot. It's still a spot. So
indeed.
I like
it. Absolutely. Excited to have you guys here. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Finish off your Monday. Hope you had a fantastic Monday out there. Almost into April, boys. May's right around the corner. May 1st kicks off this week. Guess what? It's gonna be May. You'll see those gifts rolling through the timeline in a couple of days as well. We had a fun weekend. Lots of sports, obviously. Lots of few other things as well. So let's talk about it. Let's get into some smashing and some passion and do some weekend review. All right, boys. So for today, for the weekend review of Smash or Pass, we're going to do a couple things, talk about the sports, and then we're going to do a couple things that we're going to talk about just kind of the vibes. So
bring it on.
Let's kick it off. Let's start it off with kind of what we were just talking about. Not really specifically that, but the NFL draft obviously wrapped up this weekend. And we got to talk about this. The Cleveland Browns were the franchise that ended up drafting Shedeur Sanders after he fell. But they went to the Browns after the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel, and they have Joe Flacco, and they have Kenny Pickett. They still have Deshaun Watson, and obviously now they have Shedeur Sanders. So not really smash or pass worthy, boys, but are the Browns okay? Like, what do you guys think of this move? What do you guys think? I know V has specific feelings about Shedeur, so maybe I'll let him kind of tee us off here. What the hell is going to go on in this QB room? Can we get some hard knocks, please?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know what they were doing here. I understand Deshaun Watson probably not going to play next year, but him falling that far, especially after Dylan Gabriel, to me, it feels like a little bit of a message was sent. Like nobody is above the draft. And not just a Shedeur in general, but anybody that's thinking of coming in, like they can own the draft process, that they could do whatever they want. And the other thing that I think we're not taking into account here is all the talk with Dion coming in, coaching his son and doing all that kind of stuff. What head coach or what GM wants that? What GM wants another coach that he's not going to hire, or what head coach wants to possibly bring in somebody that's going to bring in his replacement? Now, does it get that far? I don't think so. But I think we all kind of felt like he might end up with the Browns in this situation. But after Dylan Gabriel makes no sense to me. And the entire situation, I think Shedeur handled it like a pro, nothing. He was very calm about it, and he was very excited when he got drafted, which I think meant more what people were more worried about. But I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel in the situation. Poor guy probably thought he was coming into a situation where he's going to be maybe the guy in the future a little bit here. Now you're sitting in a situation like, what the fuck are we doing?
I would assume one of these guys is probably not going to be on this roster. They're not going to carry 5 quarterbacks. There's absolutely no way.
Yeah, you're right. Probably 2, to be honest.
Yeah, 3 at most. So
3, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you can't redshirt. They don't do that in the NFL. Joe Flacco's the obvious candidate maybe to get cut specifically just because of his age and the fact that, but I mean, they brought him back for a reason. He ended up leading them to the playoffs a couple seasons ago when Deshaun went down. You got Deshaun Watson possibly returning from his Achilles tear doubly, but not until December, I think is what the timeline's looking like for that possible return. Kenny Pickett. Obviously, we know what Kenny Pickett is. What do you think, Shags? Like, what the hell is this?
What's today's date? April 28th. We're 4 months out from the NFL season. Cleveland Browns, Joe Flacco is going to be your week 1 starting QB.
That's what I think.
I mean, the way he's played for your team late in the season, or the past few seasons, I think gives you a little bit of confidence going forward. Obviously, he knows the system. Kenny Pickett is just not a starting QB in the NFL, plain and simple. No. I think we've kind of seen enough of that experiment. And then as far as your 2 rookies, do I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel? Maybe. I definitely agree with V in that I think picking Gabriel and then going back to Shedeur was a bit of a message per se. Maybe it was also, we didn't want to pay him 3rd round draft money if we do sign this guy. But I think ultimately as the Browns, you've got 5 QBs who are all going to at least compete for the starting job. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want, is as many guys as you can really gunning for one position, and you pick whoever might be the best fit for your team. So I think Flacco is going to be the week 1 guy. As far as who gets cut, I think it's very easy. You cut that guy on the left, just get him out of here, and move on from there.
It's crazy that they're talking makes the most sense. You can actually bet on it, Shags. I think he's like plus 2,000 to start week 1, which
probably
is pretty
somewhere.
wild. Yeah, at this point they got to cut Watson, right? They got to get rid of him.
Yep.
He can't be a member of this franchise any further than what we've seen so far. They just got to cut the losses, pay the guy, I guess, the extra $100 million they owe him, which is crazy, and then move on, right? Imagine them having to sign that check, man. I wouldn't want to be that pen and paper making that transaction, however they do it nowadays. I know, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the props on BetOnline right now. They've got Will Watson start any game in the 2025 regular season. Yes is plus 300. And will Shedeur Sanders start any game in the 2025 regular season? Yes is plus 170.
I don't hate that bet for plus 170.
It's been a start, man. At least one game. You got to give it to him at the end of the year. If
So.
you're rolling out Joe Flacco week 1, what is your season really going to look like?
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Flacco starter
I mean-
with the Colts. We did that already. It
Joe,
didn't work.
Joe Flacco's going to be your week 1 starter. I don't think he's going to be your week 18 starter.
I would be very shocked if Joe Flacco, also at the ripe age of almost 40
Lasts
years
all
old,
season.
plays entire season and doesn't
Right.
get some random injury throughout that process if he does end up starting. So not a bad bet for plus 170. But
Yeah, out of those two, I would definitely rather bet on Sanders to start for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, but please, Hard Knocks, if you're watching our show,
Yeah.
first of all, thanks for
We're
tuning in.
begging.
Second of all, please go to Cleveland. Come on now. To be a fly on that wall of that QB room. Holy shit. Also, I'm sure Myles Garrett has a few things that are interesting to say as well.
Hey.
So, all right, keeping it with the sports theme. This is more for V, I guess, and I'm sure this will tickle his plums. The Los Angeles Lakers are down 3-1 in the series to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Luka and LeBron, not really by their fault necessarily. I'm sure you've got some thoughts on that aspect. But yesterday's game, they played 46 to 48 minutes, the entire second half. Both of them combined for 65 points, and they still lost. Down 1-3. Are the Lakers cooked, V?
Honestly, it looks like it. It looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves defense that we saw last season kind of take it to the Timberwolves or the Nuggets is coming to shine. We are seeing Julius Randle play a level of defense we never, ever saw in New York. He is playing with such tenacity and such hatred of this Lakers franchise, of this team that drafted him and then traded his ass away at the beck and call of LeBron James, that it is showing in the defensive intensity. And I understand everybody wanting to blame JJ for the second half. I understand. You tried something, it didn't work, right? How often do we sit here and we say, dude, just play the entire game. If you can't hit the bench, you can't hit the bench. You don't have depth. It is what it is. Hindsight is 2020, right? He tried something, it didn't work. LeBron had 2 field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. Luka, I think, had 2 makes. I think they combined for 4 points in that entire fourth quarter, Shags. And it's been the story of back-to-back games now. Both games, Anthony Edwards has severely overplayed or outplayed both guys in the fourth quarter. He had 16 fourth quarter points. I think like 7 assists across games 3 and 4 in the fourth quarter. And he's just coming out to play. And I think the thing glaring to me most is, again, Luka's defense. They're hunting him on all sides of the ball. It was Naz Reid hitting that big 3 to start the fourth quarter because Luka got lost on defense. Jaden McDaniels, just a lot of the game being spent looking at the refs or looking for a call. And I understand that the reffing wasn't the best. I will say that. But at some point, you got to let it go. At some point, you got to brush it off and play the game the way it's being called.
But the crazy thing to me, and obviously everybody got very excited, myself included, when Luka went to Los Angeles. And you kind of create these scenarios in your head of how they can possibly compete for a championship. When you kind of take a step back a little bit and look at this outside of the current playoff situation right now, this team's not constructed to win a championship this season. They have glaring holes in their roster, and Luka Doncic coming in was not going to fix all of those spots. It's like when any big superstar trade, when it happens midseason, especially, it's very, very rare for them to have immediate success. Look at what happened when Kyrie went to the Mavericks with Luka. A little over 2 seasons ago. It took them, they went to the playoffs that season. They ended up losing in the first or second round. I can't remember which round it was. Second round, yeah. But then what did they do the following season? They had a full off season together. They had a full season to kind of gain some chemistry as a 1-2 punch. They brought in pieces around them in the PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford of the world. And what did they do? They went to the finals. So they've now married themselves to this current iteration of at least these 2 guys for the next couple seasons, and then Luka in the future after that. Now you try to bring in pieces in the offseason that kind of fit with that system and that way they're going to rock and roll. They don't have that right now, like you said. They have Crazy Pellet said in the chat, they have a 6-man rotation, if that. I mean, I sent you the message of I'm surprised that he didn't sub anybody. But I get why you don't sub these 2 dudes, because when these 2 dudes aren't on the floor, especially the way Austin Reeves has been playing, I mean, are you going to rely on Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt and fucking Rui to get you buckets on the low when Ant's just going everywhere?
Just to point out a couple of spots where I thought, again, you need the 2 minutes, or even if it's 90 seconds on the bench just to get a little bit of a breather. Down to a minute and a half left, LeBron takes a very long contested 3-pointer, right? Luka missing layups, kind of just fatigue. the turnover at the very end. You cannot tell me that's not a pass LeBron doesn't make 10 out of 10 times, right? Fatigue, brain fog, all this kind of stuff starts to play a factor when you play 24 minutes straight in the second half. It's a tough spot to be in, but you really need to, I don't know, coach better. You need to play better. I don't know what it is. They played fantastic, but defensively, you got to show up. And in the fourth quarter, you can't just go away the way they have in the last 2 games.
Yeah. Just before we move to the hockey, there's also, I mean, they have now game 5 back in crypto. That is win or go home for the Lakers. They are 5.5-point favorites, which that game's tomorrow evening, I'm pretty sure. It's either tomorrow
Wednesday.
or is it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about that on Sauce Team, which will be fun. I mean, I kind of like the Lakers to extend the series at least one more game to win at home, back against the wall. But I don't know.
Well,
Jack, what do you think?
I'm looking at some of these other series prices. All these on BetOnline right now. The Bucks, they're down 3-1. They're plus 1,500 to come back and win the series. They got to go to Indiana though. The Pistons also down 3-1. They're going to New York. They're plus 1,250 to win their series. Lakers, yes, they have the benefit of getting game 5 at home, but they're down 3-1. They're less than 4-1 to come around and win the series, win 3 games straight. So you've got to think if they can get this game 5 in crypto, go back to Minnesota and steal one, they'd probably be the favorite in Minnesota with that momentum. They were just the favorite in Minnesota, I believe, when they lost. So, I think that's a little telling already. That tells you the Lakers have some fight in them. With LeBron and Luka, anything's possible, but you guys know the league better than I do. And like you said, this team's got a lot of holes that have been exposed this series. So I think they could come back and make it a fight. It certainly wouldn't surprise me because, they got LeBron on their team. So Superman.
We got to talk about, sorry, go ahead, SPJ.
I was just going to say, it's a great mention the prices though, because I looked at the line for the game 5 and I was like, wow, 5.5 points after what? And I said this to start the series. This series is going to be a roller coaster. Shout out the Wolves. They got both the jobs done in game 3 and game 4 at home, then after stealing one in game 1. But I don't see a way the Lakers don't at least extend this to game 6. And if you're right, if it is more of a dominant win, maybe a 10 or 15 point win back in crypto, even though the Wolves still have the lead, then the pressure swings to the Wolves because they cannot lose that game 6 and have to go back game 7 in crypto and win that game on the road. Right. So then the math changes a little bit. So I think that's why the price is kind of showing that, because you don't want to, if they want to get, they're probably going to come out guns a-blazing and want to get the job done in game 5, because you don't want to have to again travel back home again and then seal the deal there. Because if you lose that one with the pressure on, then you're really under some fucking pressure. So I can see how the pricing of that kind of works as well. What were you going to say, V?
I was just going to say the play of Anthony Edwards going at LeBron James, taking the onus of guarding LeBron, guarding Luka on the defensive side, doing whatever it takes. And not just that, but coming up with big play after big play. He had LeBron frustrated in that fourth quarter, and you could see it on LeBron's face. And that's exactly what Minnesota does. They beat you up and they make you earn every bucket, and they've done that so far. And this is a team that is better on the road this year, Shags, in terms of record, in terms of how many points they've scored. And last year in the playoffs, I believe they were undefeated on the road until they ran into the Mavericks in the Western Conference Final. So this is a team that has gotten the job done on the road, and Anthony Edwards is the player whose game elevates on the road, as you see of most superstars once they kind of come into their own. You got to take more on the road, and he's done that so far.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
maybe
I don't
maybe
hate
SPJ and Shaggy are.
Sure. No, V is already dancing on the grave. He was dancing on it to start the series.
River dancing.
Absolutely. Yeah, in that green. There it is. So swing and talk about the ice. Speaking of dancing, the playoffs on the ice have been absolutely nutty too. I know a lot of the basketball has been exciting, but the playoffs on the ice has been spectacular. As you can see, the Western Conference, every single series is tied 2-2 right now, which is pretty awesome. So Shags, I'll let you kick us off since you've been writing about it and paying it a little bit more attention to the Yoffs and on the ice. What's been your favorite series so far to kind of pay attention to?
I would have to go with the Kings Oilers, just considering we've seen that matchup in the playoffs for 4 straight years now. Those teams are going to go head to head, and with them going 7 games, 6 game, 5 games in, consecutive years, it's nice that we're getting, either 6 or 7 in this series. But having those two go head to head again, it has been great to watch. I've been very, very impressed with the St. Louis Blues, though. The way they picked up 2 big wins at home, got to tip the cap to them. Because I kind of thought they were done. I thought we were maybe going to get the brooms out for Winnipeg in this series, but the Blues battled, and now they just got to try and steal one in Canada to move on. So shout out to the Blues.
I agree. I think Edmonton and the Kings is the obvious answer. Like that series is just super fun, especially with them playing 4 seasons in a row and all the narratives, and they've seen each other so much. But you're right, dude. That Blues series is crazy. The VGK Wild series is also crazy. We were kind of talking about that being a possible sweep too. So shout out both the Western Conference wild card teams coming in and putting some hurt on the top 2 dogs on the Western side. V, what do you think? What you've been kind of paying attention to in the offs on the ice?
That Stars series piqued my interest after the first 3 games. The way that Dallas had only led the 3 games for like 1 minute and 10 seconds, but we're up 2-1 in the series, right? Like obviously that wasn't gonna last, but things like that only happen in hockey. You know what I mean? Like there is no safe lead. What do they say? Like a 3-1 lead is the scariest lead in hockey, right? No, only the scarier is a 4-1 lead. It's it's a game of inches, and it's a game of honestly hard hitting. And I've loved watching playoff hockey. That Blues game the other night. Not the the Blues game. Yeah, it was the 5-2 game that they just won. That was electric to watch. They were just back and forth in that second period. And then as soon as they got that second goal home, it was floodgates opened up, and that was it for them.
It's like that. You said this, the leading for only a certain period of time. It's like the Nuggets last season over the Lakers, or the Lakers over the Nuggets, I guess. The Lakers were leading. They led like an astronomical amount of those games, and the Nuggets only led for like 2 minutes of the series, and they ended up winning the series because it only matters when the clock strikes 0 what the score is. So yeah, it's fun, man. It's gonna be got a couple good games to talk about with you guys tonight, which we're gonna get to in just a few minutes. So all right, that's enough kind of sports stuff. Now we got a couple just some pop culture things to mention for you guys. I'm sure you saw this on Sunday, and boys, is Bill Belichick okay? I'm a little worried about a man, Bill. Yeah, shout out to the man. I don't know if you guys saw the Sunday morning interview with Bill Belichick. For the most part, the interview was pretty good. He was talking about his new book that he's putting out there and things like that. There were some weird moments of him talking about like Robert Kraft not being in the acknowledgments of the book and stuff like that. But then things got where's Gerald? Is Gerald in the comments or Gerald in the chat?
He was.
So. He was. I hope he's back now. But then it got really weird. Because as you guys know, Bill Belichick is, what is he, 73? 73, 74, early 70s, and has been dating his 24-year-old girlfriend. And she was there, and it was just really strange. Did you guys end up watching the whole clip? Have you guys seen
the sweatshirt he's wearing is so strange to me. Like I don't understand why. Like I get it.
You go on brand for Bill.
You
That's
don't
so on
care,
brand.
but like this for the interview, this seems like him caring enough to put this on. First of all, that was already weird to me. But as soon as she's like, "No, we're not going to talk about that," I was just like, "Squirt, what? Sorry, flu season, cough season, allergy season." But seriously, man, this dude Bills must have like either his tab is crazy high right now, or it's just high enough where, you know what I mean? 50% is what she's walking away with. This is wild, though.
If you go deeper into this,
the CC'd on all the emails, on the field stuff, like she's like literally on the field with him and in like an all North Carolina outfit. Everything feels weird. It all feels weird.
I brought that comment up, not reading the full thing first.
Oh boy!
Oh man!
Yeah, exactly what Gerald said, man. Fuck.
Shags, is Bill okay?
I don't know the answer to this question. Is Bill okay? I don't know. I hope so. Best of luck to Mr. Belichick.
You're dying hero.
Season. That's all.
Oh my
that's
God.
all I got. That's all I got.
You could tell the interviewer, shout out that guy. Like, it seemed so fine, and then he had to really hold it together to put it all out there. We've all been in relationships where you look back on what happened during a relationship when it was over and go, wow, how did I let that happen? Like, what was going on there? His is unfortunately live on television for everybody to see.
Bro, shout out to them for airing it like this too, though, and showing us everything. Like, look at her face. Come on, like, look at that imagery right there.
Dude, when she shouted in her voice, when she said, "No, we're not talking about that," and I was like, "Oh no!"
Like, they don't even want to stick to the fake story that they talked about on the plane and signing the jersey or whatever the fuck that was.
That's a manager if I've ever seen one.
The terror in her voice when she said, "No, we're not talking about that," and I was like, "Oh god."
Celebrities are
quick
weird,
too.
man.
That was quick.
Oh, it was immediate. She knew it was coming. You know,
Money makes people weird.
It really
For
does.
real.
We don't talk about a lot of drama around the sports world and other things like that and pop culture and stuff like that, but there's a lot of really weird stuff going on with people that have a lot of money right now, which is really
So
strange.
much. Social media era, man. Nothing's quiet anymore. And everybody's dirty laundry is out in the air.
Yeah,
Why were you doing this interview in the first place if you weren't going to answer questions?
Well, because he's
There's so
releasing
many
his book.
questions.
Because he's releasing his book, and so he wanted to do like a book tour, and also he's about to be the head coach of. He's going to be the head coach of North Carolina too. Like,
he's supposed to turn that program around, you know,
with the CC on the emails and all this kind of garbage, bro. What is this? Why is he wearing a Navy sweatshirt too? You coach at UNC.
They're both rocking Navy sweatshirts.
Yeah,
and then she's wearing a matching one. Like, obviously, he has access to a new sweatshirt. She's fucking wearing one, right?
Just trade, switch.
She's wearing his new one.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely traded before the show started or the interview started. Well, speaking of social media trends, we got to talk about this. So,
we are gonna talk about it.
We're gonna do it.
Bring it up if we did it.
We're gonna do it, chat. So help us out. We need to know. And I have no idea where this came from. So maybe you guys know the genesis of where the fuck this came from. But as you guys know, floating around the timeline all day in the last 24 hours has been, if you could choose between a gorilla versus 100 men, who you taking? I
heard unarmed as well. Those guys have sticks
unarmed.
or swords
unarmed.
Or something. Unarmed.
There are
just fits.
There are stipulations. And it's not like Godzilla. It's like a normal.
No, it's a normal gorilla. Yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on, man.
The healthiest man alive.
But I'm assuming it's a normal size, like regular.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
It's just a regular old gorilla.
Somebody said they're like, no, everyone's thinking of King Kong or things like that. This is just a regular 9 to 5 gorilla.
Exactly. It's just corporate America sitting in his cubicle.
I have a hard time conceptualizing this because like the idea of conceptualizing 100 men and how many people that would be is, you know what I mean? Like maybe all at once if everybody attacked at once.
Oh, that's
but I don't know, man. Like
you'd have to work to get. You can't just send them out there gladiator style one by one and then just hope and pray like they're gonna get destroyed. But if you work together as a team,
does that count, or does everybody have to fight till they die? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he kills a few, can a few more get scared off and like leave? Like, does that count?
Probably.
Is it to the death? Do we got to kill this gorilla and he's got to kill all 100 of us?
What else are the stipulations? Like,
I don't know.
What are the others? Yeah,
we just tie him up. Maybe we just tie him up.
But he's not going to tie you up. A gorilla's not going to tie the people up.
Oops.
Yeah,
I think it's got it right. 100 men, one gorilla, right?
I mean, all right, 100 is a lot, but realistically, not all 100 are going to be able to attack this gorilla at once. Just from you're maybe going to get what, like 15, 20. The other 80 are going to be just surrounding him, cheering you on, like catching bodies getting thrown at him. I don't know.
That's a valid point, Shaggy. That's a very valid point. Because you can't have 100 people like throwing punches at the gorilla. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
No.
There has to be a
strategic like war plan effort kind of to take down said gorilla. And you have to figure out ways to like sneak up on him or like have distractions over here and then come behind him or something like that. Like
someone needs to jump on his back and just hold on.
For that guy's
people at the bottom of the gorilla for the greater good.
Yeah.
First guy attacking.
I'm about to say, there's the first 10.
Some of you are not
on.
gonna make it. All right,
It's
but
like the
we
war.
will come out victorious.
It's like, it's like the whole, you got to break a couple eggs to make an omelet situation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sounds about right, doctor.
Nothing is.
We need specific doctor situations from Papa Shags on if he thinks that the gorilla or the 100 men.
How much damage will a gorilla do just by grabbing my arm? And,
A lot.
maybe
Rip it off.
throwing me around a little bit. That's probably a dislocated shoulder. I'm not doing much the rest of the fight.
No, you're just hobbling off.
Like King Kong, probably not, but Harambe, maybe 100 men could take Harambe. You know what I mean?
It's a good question. Someone asked too. Like, are we talking just some like standard like us? Are we talking like Arnold Schwarzeneggers? Like, are we talking what's the level of strength of these dudes here?
You're gonna catch Gerald just power posing outside the gorilla pen at the Calgary Zoo.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I know it's 100 men, but like, I think that the gorilla, because of the animal instincts, would probably get the job done. Especially with like the standard dude without a gun or any type of weapon. Like, doesn't know jujitsu and doesn't know like how to fight anything like that. Like, maybe he's been in a couple bar fights or something, but like he just get destroyed by the animal instincts of a ginormous, strong gorilla.
All right, here's the better question. Nasty Masty, you vote the gorilla. I get it. What do the odds for 100 men have to be for you to take a stab? 5 to 1, 10 to 1.
Well, so hang on. So if I'll say it this way. If somebody told you, if you go into this with 99 other dudes, and you will get $250,000 if you walk out alive, would you do it?
I gotta see the other 99 dudes.
I need a night with them one time first before we sacrifice ourselves. I need one night with the 99 dudes, Bonnie Blue Styles. That's it.
Okay. Fair enough. You need to know what you're dealing with here.
I need to make sure what we're dealing with, and then once they've all been verified, we can go into battle.
100 Shaggies.
We would probably be goners. All right, my money's on the gorilla. All right.
This is why this is literally gone all the way over the internet.
Exactly.
What if we had like 100 of 20 Shaggies, 20 V's, 20 of me's, 20 Sooks, 20 Colbys, 20
gorilla.
NZs.
You lost me.
You're sending 20 Kobe's into battle first.
Yeah,
Kobe's
I was gonna say that's gorilla. That's gorilla all over it.
That's gorilla chow right there.
Give me 20 Trizzies over 20 Colbys for this matter.
For this activity, I don't know, man. He's got some strong legs, and he could do some. He could probably like do some crazy shit.
What's he gonna do? Walk the gorilla to death?
Dude, look at this home run video, though. A guy hit a home run. He would distract him with the home run videos, and then we could kill him.
Colby's the guy hopping on the back, holding on for dear life.
Big meat Pete.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously, this is why it's a fun conversation, because who the fuck knows, and this will never. Can I just say, can this not specifically happen? Nobody wants to actually see this content breakdown. We do not want to see a gorilla have to fight 100 people, and I don't want to see that anywhere ever. Please, dear God, let this stay in our imaginations or be played out in a video game or something. We do not need this to do it. Damn, John, Sook's pretty big, dude. I know. This is why I said it. Do you guys see that? Such a weirdo, dude.
Dude, I really hope that's a joke.
It's not. He's doing a video.
No, he's trying to figure something out.
Why? Man, that's got to be animal cruelty of some kind. But anyway, there are odds on it. I did see that some people have posted some odds on who would win in this situation. Weirdly enough, the men were like minus 1,600. I don't know who made those odds. I would be totally betting on the gorilla at a pretty heavy
plus money for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, there you go. That was the weekend that was finished off with some fun to get us rocking and rolling. But as I said, it's the Yoffs, boys. It's such an exciting time in sports. We've got 4 games tonight, 2 on the ice, 2 in the NBA. So let's jump in and talk about what we're looking at for these games. Start on the ice. Let's go to Shags. Take it away. Let's talk about this first game that puck dropped here at 6 o'clock. Battle of Florida. Panthers taking on the Lightning. What do you think? What are you looking at?
Yeah, there Battle of Florida game 4, second game in Sunrise between these two teams. Florida took the first two in Tampa Bay, and then the Lightning struck in game 3. They fell down 1-0 within three minutes of the game starting, but then netted 5 straight goals, including 3 in the third period, to win that game. But they were outshot 34-22 still. Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
They pepper the net, like we know. And tonight, they're going to win one at home. They got to get one at home. We're taking the Panthers, and we're taking them in regulation. Plus 110, actually a great number. I was all over this when I saw it was plus money. The stories of these games so far. Game 1 in Tampa, Florida scored a bunch of goals. They converted on every power play. They only had 17 shots. Vasilevsky just had his worst outing of his career. Game 2, much more what we expected. Florida played great defense for 60 minutes, won a low-scoring affair. Game 3, we saw the goalie mishaps on the other side. Bobrovsky did not play well, didn't face too many shots, 4 goals on 21 shots faced. So I think Game 4 kind of reverts back to the middle. I think we see kind of what we saw in Game 2, less outliers from the goalie's performances. But it's got to be the Panthers, the way they are just fearlessly ripping the puck on net. Their offense is phenomenal. Much better at home this year as well. They've actually lost 2 of 3 games against the Lightning at home this year, despite the Lightning being 18-19-4 on the road this season. Panthers were 9-4 at home in the playoffs last year en route to a Stanley Cup. They're very good in the playoffs. They're very good at home, 27-12-2 this year. Before the playoffs, 0-1 this year. I think they get one back at home tonight. So I'll take them in regulation, 60-minute line for some plus money.
You can mean minus 130 on the money line just to win the game is not bad
That
either.
too. Exactly.
It's a little juicy, but that does the job if you don't want to get the dreaded in reg off that ticket.
Right.
But if you want the plus money, it makes a lot of sense. Interesting that, I was surprised to see that score line. Although, I mean, the Bolts really needed to get that last game.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like,
and backs against the wall, very dangerous. It's crazy. 9 penalties, 9 power play opportunities, actually, in game 3, all of them killed. Panthers killed 5, Tampa Bay killed 4. I don't think that happens again, to be honest with you. So I think Florida comes out very aggressive. You don't want to give the Lightning any more momentum, especially going back to their place for game 5. Get this win right now, make them have their back against the wall at home rather than stealing 2 on the road, back at home. Hey, we can do this, guys. You got to kill them now.
Yeah. Get the job done while you can. Strike while the iron's hot.
Yep.
Okay. So that's game 4 of this one. Now we've got a game 5 between two teams that are locked and loaded. B was talking about how this series is super interesting a little bit earlier in the show. Back in Dallas, Avs looked really good last game. Got the job done in pretty electric fashion. What did they score? Like 5 goals, 6 goals?
4. Just
4.
4-0 though. Shutout.
Yeah, shutout. Kept the door closed. What's the thoughts on this game?
So, coming off the 4-0 shutout and the shot discrepancy in game 4, insane. 48-23. Colorado outshot the Stars. Going back to Dallas, the Stars are still missing Jason Robinson, still not on the ice. Miro Heiskanen also not there for the defensemen either. I think the Stars are done, to be honest with you. I think the Avs come in, roll, win this game 5, win game 6 back at home as well, win this series in 6 to move on. I'm on the Avalanche. I like their money line. I think that's a playable number. I like their puck line at plus 186. I like them in regulation at plus money, but I decided to get a little greedy. I do think we see goals in this game, so I split up my unit on this game in two plus money parlays. I've got the Avalanche on the money line and over just 3.5 in the full game. I just need 4 goals total in this game, getting even money for that. And then Avalanche money line with the over 4.5 at plus 115. Both of those odds were via BetOnline. Other books making me pay 25, 30 more cents for those exact same tickets. So I hopped on for the plus money as soon as I saw it. But Colorado, you put up nearly 50 shots on goal last game. I think you know, and Jake Ottinger still had a good outing. He saved 31 of 34 shots, but the Avs are best when they play fast, they play aggressive, they dare other offenses to keep up with them. I think they figured that out. Gabe Landeskog found the back of the net. I think that gives the team just a little more motivation too going forward on this cup run of, hey, let's stay aggressive. And again, the same thinking. Let's get this one on the road, go back and win it at home in game 6. Mackenzie Blackwood has been phenomenal for the Avalanche, saving 92% of shots faced in this series, 96 in his last 2 outings as well. He even started 2 games for the Sharks against the Stars in the regular season, saved 93% of the shots against this team. So historically just done very well against Dallas. I think his play stays good tonight, but Dallas needs to be aggressive. So I think they know it's going to take 25, 30 shots to win one of these games. I think they do pepper the net, maybe find the back of it twice or so, but give me the Avs and give me the over 3.5, over 4.5 is what I got in this game.
I like it. You've been on the Avs kind of since the beginning. I know they were kind of your cup option. That was even before the Landeskog stuff and the Robertson stuff kind of flipped those odds.
Right.
So cool to see Gabe get a goal, man, last game. You saw how they all celebrated and how crazy it went. Yeah. His points, minus 102. Not bad for that. He had 2 points last game, scored a goal, and had an assist. Kind of back in the fold. A couple more things I kind of looked at this game from a prop perspective, just kind of since you dove into it from a, just an overall analysis side. I was looking at Blackwood saves over 23.5 just because of the narrative associated to it. He's had 23. He had 23 last game, so didn't quite get over the 23.5 line, but at 26 and 35 in game 1. 35 was in Dallas. That game was in Dallas. Then the first game of the series, he had 23. So he's kind of hovered around the line or gone way over it. And like you just talked about, I mean, like they're going to have to shoot. They can't go down 3-1 at this point. Like 3-2 at this point. It's a huge game in Dallas. Right. They're going to be ripping. I kind of like that 23.5 saves line, especially for that lower number.
I like it too. And, that 35 number in game 2, that was with 18 minutes of overtime too. But Dallas is going to have to be aggressive. I mean, 23 saves last game. He saved every shot he faced. The guy had a shutout. He couldn't get over the number because there was no opportunity.
They didn't score. Yeah,
exactly. So, yes, I think Dallas is much more aggressive, especially at home. But I still think Blackwood plays very well.
And then the other one, kind of chalky, but I've been kind of just playing this on my own, not really putting this out there, but I really like McKinnon's shots again. It's 4.5 for plus money. He only had 4 last game, but they won 4-0. Like it got to the point where he probably just wasn't shooting as much, but his attempts are there. Even in the 19 minutes he played last game, 8 attempts, 12 game before that with 9 on net, 7, 8. He's ripping puck. He's been hitting consistently throughout this entire series. I don't see that stopping tonight. So I do like the 4.5 for plus money. Again, chat, you got to shop around for these. BetOnline obviously has these available to you, but other books as well. Be sure you're looking at if you want to bet it in regulation or if you want to bet it for the entire game. So be sure to pay attention to the verbiage that you're betting when you put these bets in for the shots on goal, especially. Because you don't want to be hoed thinking you've got, sweet, you've got 20 minutes overtime. And then you look at the ticket and it says in regulation only. So, chalky, but I think Mac Daddy should be shooting tonight.
Yep.
Sauce, did you have any thoughts on this game?
Exactly what you said. Mac Daddy, I want to take his shots on goal. Sorry. I think it's over 4.5 right now for plus money or like minus 105, something like that. I think he's going to be firing puck the way he has been this entire series. And honestly, I've been enjoying just taking star players on these teams. I took Ovechkin last night. Bang, he finished with 5 shots on goal. It's the NHL playoffs, and no player is playing harder than an NHL player in the NHL playoffs. I've come to know that as somebody who watches now like all sports. They are a different breed, especially their star players. They need them. You know what I mean? They'll play more minutes, they'll take more shots, and they'll be looking for them in big moments again and again. So you might get lucky, especially if you get overtime in these situations.
Yeah, 100%. Nothing wrong with just taking the chalk in these situations and ladder it up. I mean, there was one game with the Oilers and the Oilers on the other night, and Kempe had like 9 shots or something. McKinnon had 9 shots. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking it. So Cool. Feel like the Avs money line and the Panthers money line might have to find its way into our little parlay, but we'll
I can get down with that.
I can get
Oh,
down with
yeah.
that too. A little chalk on the night. Why not? All right. There's stuff on the ice. If you want to go dance and go peep the scribbles, as always, at bettingnews.com for both of those game analysis from Shaggy, if you want to go check those out. Let's swing and talk the basketball. 2 NBA games tonight as well. One game could be the end of the series and the season for the Miami Heat. First game at 6:30 Central is the Heat taking on the Cavaliers, hosting them in South Beach. 8.5-point favorites are the Heat. Over-under set at 211.5. I got a couple plays in this one, but I'll let you kick us off. What do you like in South Beach?
So I got scribbles out. I scribbled about this play, but I'm really, really liking Max Strus tonight. Over 9.5 points, a +110. How often is it in sports where you get a chance to go into the arena where you played so long? You've had so many postseason battles. You've gone to the NBA Finals. And now you are back in that same building on an opposing team up 3-0 with the chance to shut the door and put the final nail in the coffin that is the Miami Heat. It's not often you get a spot like this in sports, and I am riding with the hot hand. He's had huge games in back-to-back games. He's hit this line in 2 of the 3 games. The one miss, he had 9 points in that one. He's shooting 54% from the field, 50% from 3, and he is playing high minutes, taking a high number of shots. I just think that this is a situation where the coach knows, Mitchell knows, everybody on the team understands what the situation is here, and everybody wants to put Miami to bed tonight in South Beach. So give me his points. You can get the over 2.5 threes too for +145. I did sprinkle that as well, but I'm a big juice guy tonight.
You could also, so chat as we sit here right now, we don't know the status of Darius Garland. Darius Garland is still a game time decision for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Sprained his toe. He sat out last game. It was kind of a late last minute scratch. And they ended up winning that game by almost 30 points. Up 3-0 in South Beach. I'm of the opinion, and I've been looking at this all day, that I think that they're going to sit him again. They won their game pretty handily last game. I know that the Heat are going to give it their best shot tonight with their backs against the wall, but they can beat this team without Darius Garland out there. And the last thing you'd want for him to go out there and re-aggravate. I don't know if you guys have ever fucked up any of your toes. I think it's his big toe. It's really painful, and it makes it really difficult to run and cut and all that type of stuff. So it's a bad and not a great time to have an injury like that. So I would assume they're going to let him rest. Maybe he plays, but that helps your Strus play, V, because that means he'll see a little bit more volume and a little bit more minutes. It'll also help one of the guys that I'm taking, and it's Ty Jerome, over 16.5 points and assists. I think, again, I'm kind of rolling with the idea that I think Garland sits. But even if he doesn't, I think that he can hit this line. He had a double-double last game. The double-double's plus 3,000, Chad, if you want to sprinkle on that. You're not seeing lines in certain places for Darius Garland to have a double-double too, which I think is interesting because I think they're kind of protecting themselves a tiny bit on the fact that he may not play. But this is more just about the fact that Ty Jerome, as you guys have been following this Cavs team, one of the first scorers off the bench, him and oh my God, I just forgot the guy's name that they got in the trade. Not Karis LeVert. Anyway, I'll remember it in just a second. But anyway, he's going to come off the bench, probably 6th or 7th man, first guy or second guy off the bench. I really like the points and assists. Like I said, sprinkle the double-double if you're feeling really frisky. This line could also jump if we get news here in the next, maybe soon, that he might not play. This game does start here in the next hour and 20 minutes, so I would assume we're going to get some news here in the next 20 or so that Garland's going to sit or not going to play. So Ty Jerome is the first one. And then second one, I don't have to tell you guys too much. I bet it almost every single game the last 2.5 weeks. It's off night again. It's off night. They haven't bumped it up yet, high as it should be. I got 18.5 PA. 17.5 was last night. I should have locked it in then, but I got 18.5 this morning. It doesn't matter. He's had 16 plus points in 5 straight games. He had 5 assists last game, clearing this PA in every single game this series. He's going to play 30 plus minutes. He's going to be out there. He's also still kind of playing for his NBA. I think that he has passed the test, in my opinion, that he's going to be a member of this team next season. I think that Eric Spoelstra likes him. I think he fits in well with Hero and Bam and those guys, and they like him and his defense and stuff. But it seems like he's found a home. But he's going to want to keep showing that he deserves to play next season for this team. So I really like Mitchell here at the 18.5 PA. You can take the points too. It's 11.5, which is crazy to me. His volume is the only problem why I took the PA, because as V knows, we talked about this a lot. This guy is out there. It seems like he's making everything, but he's not going to shoot like 15 to 16 shots a game. He's going to shoot about 8 to 10 shots. So you got to hope that he just makes quite a few of them as he has been. Just going to keep riding with my dog off night in maybe their last game of the season. So, yeah. Anything else in South Beach, V?
No, that was my only play was Max Strus. I do like a lot of I did put out that parlay with Betalytics. It's got Tyler Hero's rebounds and Evan Mobley's rebounds in as the 2 legs from that game.
Indeed. The scribbles are for business. The podcasts are for pleasure. Indeed. And then we meshed the two. It's a wonderful time. Thank you, John.
Is it the Cavs tonight? Are they getting the sweep done?
I think they sweep
so.
As if they cover. I don't know, but
Okay.
yeah, they came out with a very high level of intensity in that game 3, and it doesn't look like they're fucking around. So I don't think they're gonna drop any more games here in round 1.
I could see them maybe winning by like 6 or 7 or something.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be surprising to me if the Heat grab a game, and this might be the one that they grab. But I could very also see the Cavs just coming out.
It's not going to be game 5 if they don't get it tonight.
Highly doubt it. Garland not participating in pregame routine. Chat, again, if you like the Ty Jerome line that I was mentioning, if you like V's play as well of Max Strus, either one of those lines, I would go lock him in right now, because I would assume that in the next 10 or 15, 20 minutes, we're going to get news about Garland. He might play, so it might not really matter. But if he doesn't, all the lines are going to go away, and then they're going to come back, and they're going to be 2 to 3 points higher. Strus's points line, 12.5. Ty Jerome, PA, 18, 19.5. So let's go. All right, let's swing and talk about the last game of the night in the Bay, back in Golden State, as the Warriors look to take on the Houston Rockets to go up 3-1 in that series. Jimmy Butler has been ruled back into the lineup for the Golden State Warriors. 3.5-point favorites are the Warriors, and the Rockets 3.5-point dogs on the road, over under 203.5. V, I texted you about this earlier. I'll let you put your doctor hat on and talk to the people. So V, Jimmy Butler is returning from it's like a hip contusion, which is like a very deep deep bruise. He's in pain.
Deep ouchie.
Deep ouchie. That's some doctor terms right there for you. I asked V about this because I like Butler, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But are you concerned about Butler's movement tonight? Do you think that he's going to be able to play full minutes? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So again, this is a very this is an injury where you can't really tell unless you were talking to the player. You've seen him, the way he's moving around, right? The way he fell, we know he was gonna have some probably severe bruising. If it wasn't as severe, right? If there wasn't anything like that, and it also depends on the depth of how far it's kind of gone in, because the only thing that kind of concerns me is if he's playing with a little bit of hesitation. But a guy like Jimmy Butler, I don't think he's kind of got that in him. He's playing to go up 3-1 in this series here. And yes, the injury sucks, but as we saw with Tatum, right? He had that bone bruise, and yes, that was on his wrist in a much smaller area. But this is very much a pain management injury where if the player feels like he can play, he might be able to play at the exact same level before he went out of the lineup. Yes, after the game, he might feel the repercussions of it, a little more pain management, and have to do things like that to recover for the next game. But in terms of his play, especially once the adrenaline hits, they're going to, plug him up with some drugs too, the really, really nice designer ones. No, just kidding. But they're going to have him game ready if he's ready to go. And especially if they're announcing it this far, out, it's not like he's going to go through shoot around or he's a true game time decision. They announced it 4 hours before tip that, hey, Jimmy's playing tonight. So that gives me a little bit more confidence.
I'll just sell this and then I'll let you talk about what you like, because like I said, this is in V Scribbles. But in honor of that, and the reason why I was texting him that was because I bet on Jimmy Butler tonight over 19.5 points. Could it be a trap because he didn't play last game and he's coming back from injury? Maybe his minutes are a little lower than what we've seen so far with Jimmy joining the Golden State Warriors. Could be. But this guy has scored 20 points at ease the last 6 games and the first 2 games of this series before he got hurt last game. He has looked dominant. He has looked like playoff Jimmy. And if they're trotting him out there tonight, it seemed like from what I was hearing when Shams was talking about it and kind of reading more about the reports is that he could have played last game if it was like a do or die, win or go home type of game. But they rested him because they wanted him to have more movement like you were talking about. I think he was still struggling from the movement perspective. I don't think they would trot him out there tonight because of what he means to their future this season and beyond. if they felt comfortable with what he can do on the court tonight specifically. So I like the 20 points. You can take the PRA if you want to, but actually kind of ties into what V's about to talk about on the reason why maybe the points makes more sense, because there's going to be some facilitating and some rebounding going around to the other superstar.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm going to Steph in this one. And the over 10.5 AR, you might get a little bit of a better line now with Jimmy being ruled in. But the reason I'm looking at this one is because what I've seen in the first 3 games is, yes, Steph has had 30-plus points in 2 of the 3 games, and they haven't really had an answer. They've tried Amen, they've tried Dylan Brooks, they've tried Jabari, everybody on Steph, and Steph has just been going absolutely bonkers. Thing that stands out to me is he's still averaging over 12 potential assists. He had 17 potential assists in the game where he just had 36 points. He's played 41 minutes, 38 minutes in every single game, 38, 40, and 41 in the 3 games. If you go back this season, he's only played 22 games where he's played over 35 minutes. He has hit this line in 16 of the 22 games. Reason being, when he is out there for an extended period of time and he's not worried about his minutes, he is a guy that is involved in way more ways than one. In these games, he averages over 10 potential rebound chances, over 12 potential assists per game, and he has been doing it, I think, more so because that's how you keep a defense on their toes. If Steph is the guy grabbing the rebound and running the break, you don't give a team time to set. That's how he gets those open walk-up three-point attempts. That's how he gets these open guys at the rim, because you have teams overreacting to him at that three-point line. If he gets the rebound, it's time to pick up right away. You don't have time to match up or have Amen or your best defender get on Steph, and that's when he's at his best. He's a very crafty point guard, and his bag work really is on display in the postseason more than the regular season, and we've seen it in these first 3 games. He's had 9+ assists in back-to-back games. He had 9 rebounds and assists in that first game, but just 3 assists on, I think it was like 8 potential assists in that one, due to it was a rough road game for the Warriors in game 1 scoring-wise, even though they did squeak out a win. But I'm taking the RA 10.5 tonight.
I like it a lot. His PRA is fine shout too. I do think even with Jimmy coming back, he's still going to score and score a lot. And he was so good last game as well. I got one more in this game, and then we'll cook, chat. We're getting close to the end of the show. Time flies when you're having fun and talking about 100 men versus gorillas, you know? Last one for me, a little bit more a role player on the Rockets side of things. I've been enjoying betting this guy a lot throughout the end of the regular season. Has burned me a couple times in the start of this series, but got my lick back last game, and I think that he has another good night tonight. Again, give me Jabari Smith over 14.5 points and rebounds, -120, the pride of Auburn. Shaggy knows. Great player. I love when he's on the court. Lengthy guy, almost 7 foot. They need his size, especially on the road. He was really good in their last game, 12 points and 5 rebounds in Golden State as well, even though that came in a Rockets loss. He's also hit this line in 10 straight road games. They're going to need his offense. He was 5 of 3 or 3 of 5 from 3. So a little bit of a higher percentage, but they need his offense. They need him to step up and take those shots when he's on the court. And obviously his rebounding kind of just comes naturally with what they need from him with his size, with pairing up with Sengun and Steven Adams, et cetera. So line's a little too low. I think I like the 14.5 PR. You can take the rebounds if you want straight as well. You could look at his 3-point. I'm sure B's looked at his threes at 1.5. I'm sure he's gandered that line. So yeah, I know. But yeah, I like Jabari over 14.5 PR. A little bit of a non-superstar guy to just get the job done and do the dirty work. So
I really like this too, SPJ. I was looking at him. I didn't bet anything yet, but I think I'm going to now. He's been really good in this series, and he gives them fresh legs off of the bench, which is something you need with Steph. It doesn't matter how good of a defender you are. When you have to chase that little guy around the court all over the place, anybody, no matter young, old, you are going to get tired. And there's a reason why we've seen Ime kind of cycle through these guys like Jabari, Eason, and Amen Thompson.
The crazy thing too, last point on Jabari, and then we'll cook, is he's one of their best 3-point shooters as a 6'11" wing. And they, as if you guys know the Rockets, like they desperately need any type of shooter on that team to do anything offensive. So that he really helps them in that category. And like you mentioned, even being almost 7 foot, I think watching them defend Steph one-on-one, I think he's actually one of the better one-on-one defenders on Steph and bothers him the most because he can keep with him from a foot speed perspective, but his length can keep with him too because he can contest a little bit more because of those long arms. So I think that they're going to try to keep implementing him, like you mentioned, like the PR. threes looks nice at 1.5 or plus 150 if you want to go that route too. So should be a fun night of the Yoffs again tonight, boys. Vibes are high. It's going to be good. 2 nights, 2 games on the ice, 2 games on the hardwood. We just went through all 4 of them with you guys, and hope you guys are going to get out there and enjoy some games this evening as well. All right, boys. Before we get out of here, let's cook something up. What are we thinking? Oh, Austin, just in time for the parlay.
Hey,
Austin, just
Love you, Austin.
Let's go. Okay, so are we just going to take both favorites in the hockey? Is that what we're going to do?
that's what I'm on.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I like it.
All
I
right.
like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Let's do it. I didn't hate the McKinnon play too. If you'd rather go that route, but
Should we do Panthers money line and then maybe McKinnon shots just to diversify a tiny bit, or do you guys want to just stick with Avs and Panthers? I'm down for either, to be honest.
Vsauce, any opinion?
Chat, what do you guys think?
I don't know. Do you want my opinion on hockey?
I always want your opinion on anything.
But I would be down, to be honest. I think it's a solid spot. What about the Vasi saves too? We were talking. I don't know. Was that
Or
Rusty that brought that up?
Blackwood
Oh,
saves.
Blackwood saves.
Blackwood saves.
Bassey saves was the
arbitration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable with the money lines.
Okay.
Money lines.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, on the ice.
What could go wrong? Chalk on the ice. All right. So Colorado money line and then Florida money line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Both playable individually.
As you
Not very
should,
much
chat.
use.
As always. Okay. Well, V or Shags, I guess since you had to listen to both of our NBA pitches, which ones did you like the most?
Oh, let's see if we're taking one from each game. I really like the Max Strus look.
Okay.
Definitely like the Max Strus going against his former team where he dominated, put the nail in the coffin. Love that, especially with Garland potentially sitting out as well. In the late game, I didn't hate Jabari Smith. I
Jabari?
like that look. Yeah.
I could get down with Jabari. 14.5 PR, right?
PR, yep. I'm going to take Strus at 10 just to cut the
Mhm.
hook for the 10.5. And then, we'll go Jabari PR.
Cool.
Which is 14.5. Let me just find it here. Oh, up to 15.5. That's fine.
Is it all
Okay.
chalk? Is it the Cavs and the Warriors as well?
I kind of think so, man.
Okay, cool.
I think so.
All chalk Yoff's parlay is being cooked up.
We could also go that route.
The money line for Cleveland is ugly.
All the money
Right?
lines look ugly.
For Cleveland, it does.
Yeah, it's like minus 405 on BetOnline. I'm seeing plus 491 for an all chalk Yoff's parlay tonight on BetOnline.
One of those motherfuckers is losing.
I'm
One of them is.
I'm booking it anyways.
Go for it, Shax. Let's leave it.
It's gonna be Cleveland and the minus 400.
Could be. It's always the minus 400 or 500 that sells the bag, right?
Right.
I'm seeing plus 900 for the Avs to win, Panthers to win, Strus 10 points, and Jabari Smith 16 plus PR. That is plus 900.
I think that'll do it.
That does the
That
job.
feels good.
That does the job, baby. All right, chat. There's the BetSpresso 4 if you'd like to start off your week and write it out with us. As always, like we tell you guys, all of these bets are playable individually. So bet straight, have some fun, sprinkle on the parlays if you want to ride the parlays. Cook your own parlays. You guys have been getting sharper and sharper. You guys have been dropping all these fun stuff on the timeline and also in the chat of the parlays you guys have been cooking. So keep rocking and rolling and being smarter than us on the daily. All right, boys. Good stuff. Good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Your dad stuck around the whole show, too. Hello, Papa
Oh,
Shags.
he usually does.
What's Papa Shags on tonight?
He's on the Panthers in reg. And
Okay.
he's also on the Avs in reg.
No NBA
Okay.
left today.
No, he had a Lakers Celtics moneyline parlay yesterday that obviously did not hit. So with the
Sorry, Papa
old
Shags.
Lakers, but that's
So
okay.
your dad's pissed off at the Lakers right now.
He still had a winning day yesterday. He's all right.
That's good.
Good for him.
Oh, he likes the
Nice.
Rangers too, in the MLB on the diamond.
Oh, yeah, we didn't
Ooh.
talk baseball.
Yeah.
Real quick. Yeah, I know. Same.
I
V, did
didn't-
you?
I didn't look.
I didn't either. Did you look?
I didn't peep shit today.
Yeah.
My home run addiction has kind of come back to earth after the lack of home runs all weekend.
Thank God, dude. If I get another text from you about someone going yard, I'm gotta press some buttons, man.
I'll have some MLB tomorrow.
There you go. Colby's got MLB for you guys as always on Betting News. You guys know the deal. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for stopping by just to kick off your Monday sports love. Hope you guys had a fantastic rest of your Monday as we finish off your workday and enjoy the games tonight. As always, go follow Shaggy Pets, go follow Vsauce, go follow myself at Sweatpan Jesus, go follow all of us at Your Betting News on all the socials. We appreciate you guys tuning in for the content. We got a lot of really fun stuff moving forward. I know I say that a lot, but there's a lot of fun stuff happening all the time now. So vibes are high. Love to see it. Boys,
Yes, sir.
anything else before we roll?
That's it. Let's
7
get it.
day. Start the week off hot.
Hell yeah. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Enjoy the night tonight. We'll catch you tomorrow for a double dip with the pickoff. Oh, real quick. Pickoff tomorrow, not right before Puckett. Tomorrow we have a pickoff, an early edition of the pickoff. Or is that, did I fumble the bag? That's
No,
Thursday.
that's Thursday.
I lied.
That's Thursday. Never mind.
That's the other T. Sorry, my bad. Pick off regular time tomorrow. Don't listen to me. I don't make the schedule. I don't do that. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow for a double dip. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.